We've all had moments in life where something seemed like a great idea at first, only to realize almost instantly that it wasn't. Sometimes, these moments of instant regret can be hilarious to look back on, even if they were embarrassing or painful at the time. In this video, we'll take a look at some funny and ridiculous incidents where people, and even animals, experience those unforgettable moments of regret. 1. Walking on glass, not once, but thrice. Imagine thinking you've got your footing right, only to realize that you keep messing up. One woman walks over a glass surface, not once, not twice, but 3 times, all while thinking it's solid. Each time she steps, her regret becomes more apparent as the transparent surface plays tricks on her, and it's hard not to laugh at how determined she seems to keep trying. 2. Penguin's great escape, or so he thought. We all think we want something until we realize the reality isn't as great as we imagined. A penguin tried to escape its habitat, making a daring break for freedom. But once it's out, it realizes that maybe, just maybe, life inside its home wasn't so bad after all. The penguin quickly retreats, regretting its bold move. 3. Stadium blunder, the overeager fan. A fan at a sports game thought he could grab a ball that was still in play, not realizing that this was a big mistake. The crowd's reaction and his own embarrassment showed that he quickly understood how badly he had messed up. The good news is, he owned up to it, and even got some pats on the back for his honesty. 4. Ostrich versus elephant, a bad idea. Sometimes you have to know your limits. When an ostrich started messing with an elephant, it clearly didn't realize who it was dealing with. The elephant had enough of the ostrich's antics and decided to show it who's boss. Needless to say, the ostrich instantly regretted picking that fight. 5. The cattail incident. Cats don't like their tails being messed with, and one person learned this the hard way. After accidentally stepping on a cat's tail, they were quickly met with the cat's wrath. The regret on their face made it clear that they wouldn't be making that mistake again anytime soon. 6. Kevin Hart's oops moment. Even comedians can have moments where they speak without thinking. During an interview with Don Cheadle, Kevin Hart let out an unintended damn when Cheadle mentioned his age. Realizing how rude it sounded, Hart immediately tried to backtrack, but the damage was done. It was a funny, yet cringe-worthy moment of instant regret. 7. China's terrifying glass bridge. There's a glass bridge in China that is designed to crack as you walk over it, just for fun. While the effect is purely visual and completely safe, it definitely freaks people out. The cracking effect terrifies visitors, leaving many to regret ever stepping foot on the bridge. Even though they're safe, the panic in their eyes says it all. 8. Celebrating too early. One of the most classic examples of instant regret is celebrating too early. In this case, a man thought he had won a race and began celebrating just before crossing the finish line. However, his excitement was premature as someone passed him at the last second. His regret was written all over his face as he realized his mistake. 9. Fishing fail, phone overboard. We all want to capture memories, but sometimes it's better to be in the moment. A fisherman had a fish in one hand and his phone in the other, ready to take a picture. However, in a moment of confusion, he tossed his phone into the ocean instead of the fish. His face showed instant regret as he realized what he had just done. 10. Conor McGregor's awkward hug. Even celebrities aren't immune to moments of regret. MMA fighter Conor McGregor was being friendly when he put his arm around a Russian leader for a photo. But when one of the leader's security guards warned him not to do so, you could see McGregor's face change as he realized his mistake. His attempt to be friendly instantly turned into an awkward situation. 11. Messing with an eagle. Big mistake. Some animals just shouldn't be messed with, and an eagle is definitely one of them. One bird thought it could steal food from a caged eagle, but the eagle wasn't having it. The instant regret was clear as the eagle quickly defended its territory. and the would-be thief learned an important lesson. 12. Touching museum, art, costly mistake. Museums are full of amazing things to look at, but one man took his curiosity a little too far. He wanted to see how a $6,000 abstract clock worked, so he decided to pull on it. In an instant, the clock broke, and the man was left with what was probably the most expensive mistake of his life. 13. Opening the door, gentleman or regretful. It's always nice to open the door for someone else, but sometimes even good intentions can backfire. One man opened a door for a few people, only to realize he had unintentionally created a long line of people expecting the same courtesy. By the end, his kind gesture turned into a moment of regret as he was stuck holding the door much longer than he intended. 14. Vaping in class. Trying to sneakily vape in class might seem like a good idea to some, but it rarely ends well. One student thought they were being clever, but things quickly took a turn when their plan was discovered. The embarrassment that follows makes it clear that maybe vaping in class isn't worth the risk. 15. Museum, misstep, $6,000 clock, disaster. One visitor was a little too curious for their own good when they decided to play with an abstract clock in a museum. Unfortunately, the clock was worth $6,000, and the moment they touched it, it broke. The look on their face was a perfect picture of instant regret. Let's hope that was the most expensive mistake they've ever made. 16. Jaguar Cub's surprise. Even animals have moments of regret. A jaguar cub was curiously playing near water, but it seems the water was a lot deeper than the cub expected. One leap later, and the cub was drenched, learning that not all water is shallow enough to play in. 17. Looks can be deceiving. The cocktail incident. Have you ever ordered something off a menu because it looked delicious, only to be let down by the taste? Well, one person found out the hard way that just because a cocktail looks fancy doesn't mean it'll taste good. You can see the regret in their face as they take that first sip, wishing they had chosen something else. These are just a few examples of how life sometimes throws us into situations where we instantly regret our choices. Whether it's messing up a race, taking a bad sip, or underestimating an animal, these moments remind us to think before we act. After all, sometimes the funniest and most unforgettable moments come from our biggest blunders. Make sure to comment down below which of these clips was your favorite, and also subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. See you later.